Welcome to AP Workshops. Welcome to Griff Woolley's dream. Griff Woolley's welcome to my hero. This is, ladies and gentlemen, the RC45. Just so you know, this is me looking like a kid. Oh my god. This is bad timing as well, man, because we are going out, but the weather's good. This is the first opportunity I've had to do it. But the weather's good. The weather's good, and oh my god. You know, we rode the Fireblade the other day and the tank felt just massive, and I'm like, well, basically it does the same again. Welcome to Honda. I absolutely love it. But look, this is a dangerous time of the day. Look, here we go. It's a school run time. Yeah, school run. Oh no, we might be a bit early for it. Let's see if we can swerve the, what we call them, the Candy Crush. There you go, parking on double yellows. You love it, don't you? Mad. Mums and dads coming to collect their kids from outside of school. You know, the kids aren't allowed to walk. Yeah, lovely indicators. Never mind. Gear-driven cams. This was a V4 engine with gear-driven cams, so it had like a cassette that you slotted in down between the pistons, which actually ran a gear setup, and that whining that you can hear from these engines, that kind of really, I'm sure you can hear it on the cameras, but that distinctive whine that you can hear from the engine is basically those gears giving us that sort of, that noise that you don't get on a cam chain bike. You don't get any, well, you don't get the rattling here, do you? Let's be honest with you, because you haven't got a cam chain to deal with. The carburetors on the RC30 were really quite well known to be really a kind of difficult to deal with when you were dealing with race bikes, but basically this is the first of the homologation specials that I think, other than the NR750, that Honda put out with the PGMFI, or PGM at this particular point, fuel injection system. Incredible. I've got nothing to compare this to because I've not ridden an RC30 in so long. I just got nothing to compare it to, so I'm just going to go out and ride it and to sort of tell you how I feel. But you know what, like I said, I'm so excited.
I'm so excited, and I just can't hide it.
Homologation specials. I'm absolutely blessed. Look at the traffic. Like I said, can't you tell it's getting close to school time? It might be mad on the way back. Look at that. Oh dear, I'm kind of thinking I might have picked the wrong time of day to do this. Such long legs, mate, this is so overgeared. Well, I'm in third and like just, it's at 3,500 RPM on, I'm in third gear. But look, it's a homologation special bike. I'm going for a ride. I don't care. I just don't care. I'm going to do it. We just have to cut out the crap bits. Cut out the crap bits as it goes. So the back feels quite squat. There's basically no, modern sports bikes are pitched on the nose to make them steer, but this isn't. This is kind of feels quite flat, but it feels stable. Oh my life, look at all this traffic. Okay, no problems. So it feels stable. It's fueling really nice. It feels quite stable. The handling feels. Now, in the early 80s, when we used to ride things like the Suzukis with the 16-inch front wheel, you know, what was it? A lot of bikes had sort of Gammas, RG500s, RG250s. We all used to run 16-inch front wheels. It felt like they were going to tip in on you. Scary things. Early Fireblades, early 90s Fireblades. The way that they had to run a slightly fatter profile tyre to stop them from feeling like they were going to tuck under themselves. But if you keep the 16-inch front wheel over a 17-inch front wheel, the whole bike just feels like it turns in much nicer. You've got less rotating mass. It turns in much easier. And I think I read that a guy, Taddeo Baba his name was, he was the guy who invented the Fireblade, or kind of designed, a team leader who invented the Fireblade. He did a bang up job. I don't know how much of that is on this bike, but whoa, ribbing, flat out, go on! You got airborne! Yes, I love it. We actually got a bit airborne. The suspension was so dated, we actually got a little bit airborne then, which is brilliant. We're going to go and do the extended road test because we need to miss that traffic, so we're going to go and look at him. What's the point in that? Moron. Jesus. God. I know what I'll do, stop everybody else. So we're going to kind of start going through the twisties now. Let's see how that works, see how it feels. Fueling's really nice. There's a little bit of excessive cable play in this bike to make it feel, which is going to make it feel a little bit like there's lag in the fueling, but it's not. It's just the cable that's upsetting us. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We've just had to spend what seemed like a bloody eternity getting ourselves round a diversion. I can't ride this bike for toffee. I'm scared to death of it. Crying out loud, this bike is actually up for sale and I'm riding it. And risking it, so I've got to be really, really careful. But welcome back. Sorry about the diversion, sorry about the horrible editing. Unfortunately, there's not much we can do about that. But so the RC45, how does it feel around town? We are actually going to ride this thing through town and give it a little bit of steady riding, where normally would be. What does it feel like? It's like I said, this bike reminds me of the sort of the Fireblade, where it's got the really, really wide tank, where you kind of like feel like you're cuddling a big tank, and then the high rear sets. But it's not uncomfortable. I know that sounds really weird. It's not strange. I can only say, and I'm going to really make myself sound ridiculous now, but it's very, very Honda, which is mighty weird. It's mild-mannered Honda wondrousness. Yeah, all over. Do you know, if you guys remember that we go up this route here, this is the road test route where we go up, and this is the one where we've got this bump up the road, so this bump in the road that makes your spine jump out the back of your neck. Let's have a look, let's see how it feels, let's see how it goes over this. I'm not holding out hope, but let's see how it goes. Here we go. Yep, as expected. Oh, the temperature's coming down and everything. Bike loves it. The one thing that really stood out to me when these bikes were brand new was the Honda actually put out press releases of the bikes at that particular point without fairings on. The massive radiators and oil coolers that were on the front of these were just beautiful works of art things. This was World Superbike stuff, like I said, which is the stuff that kind of guys like me, who were, basically grunts and snot faces like me, that we used to fix road bikes, had never seen before. It was just epic. So these big sort of sweeping full up sort of inside of the front of the radiator, inside of the front of the fairing, you've just got masses of radiator, which is totally race bike stuff, but it's just stuff that we never saw on road bikes, and certainly not on the bikes that I was riding at that point. This point, the early 90s, we were using power valves and LCs and what was it, early CBR 600s and things like that. They just didn't have the big sort of massive radiators, because they didn't need them. But this was a World Superbike homologation special, so you just loved it. I mean, look at it. And there's that famous cutout as well somewhere of an RC30 that's got a cutaway model of it somewhere that used to be in the foyer at Honda UK, the institute where I used to work. So I basically spent a few years working at Honda Institute down in London doing training, and we'd walk past this RC30 every day that had been cut down. So this is This is the same thing. This bike's got 18,000 miles on it. I love it. I just don't know what to say. I'm just kind of, I just want to soak up the moment. I have actually ridden on the road an RC45. There's no torque. That's one thing that I've noticed. If your bike's in the gear too big, then it just vibrates and moans at you. So it's kind of like the two-stroke thing where you've kind of got to keep it flowing and you've kind of got to keep it, the revs up. That's how it works. So you've got to keep the revs up. You've got to move the bike. You've got to let it rev. You've got to give it its head and let it move. Let it go. Otherwise, it just complains at you. I wonder if that was the thing then. The sort of astronomical power that we kind of deal with today just was not there. Let's see if we can kick some ass around this corner. Too much traffic. What a shame. He would have taken it so easily. It just fell into the corner and it just rolled through. He's just almost laughing at me like, is that it? He's like looking at me going, amateur. True. Absolutely true. Bit of vibration. I notice it's transmission vibration. The one thing I've noticed is it feels like there's very little. Here we go. Come on then. What it looks like is it feels like there's very little dampening from the chain and sprockets. You know when you put it into gear and it just goes, you can feel like the metallic clunk, whereas a lot of the modern road bikes are dampened, and a lot of road bikes per se, even from that era, were kind of given the big cush drive rubbers, big fat rubbers that were kind of, that held the soaked all of that up. It just feels like that isn't there on this. But like I said, it's a race bike. That's how it worked. That was the thing. That's what it did. That's how it was built. Race bike. Hashtag race bike. Back on the surface roads at the moment. we're living with homologation specials on the road. Is this a road bike? This is something that's kind of a... there you go, first gear. It's an awful long stretch. I wonder how fast we can go in first gear. I am not going to find out. Apparently myth legends and that kind of thing stated that the RC30 at that particular point in time was 90 miles an hour in first gear. It's a bit tricky to kind of guess. It's that whole yeah, so yeah, I think we should be alright at that. Feels about right. I just want to summarise. I know I rattle on like an idiot, but you got to remember that this bike was the stuff. I genuinely had a poster of this bike on my wall. I genuinely worked with Honda in the early 2000s, and I genuinely used to dream about having this and an RC30 in my garage at home. This is actually meeting one of my heroes, and I love it. I absolutely love it. It is such a dream come true. It is everything that I wanted it to be. Have I got the money to buy this bike to make that dream come true? No, of course I haven't. Got far too many tools to go and buy to keep my living going, and just don't earn that much money. It is an absolutely beautiful bike, and I'm so grateful, so grateful to my friend Paul, who owns this bike. Paul, thank you so much, my friend. I really appreciate it. This bike's lovely. I absolutely love it, and I want it so bad, but I can't afford it, so that's it.
You want it? You want it?
This bike is terrific. Thank you so much for listening to me bang on about living the dream, and it does this, and crankcase, and so crank pinnings, and all manner of weird things, and just freaky things that I really get a kick out of riding this bike. I just want to say thank you. to you all for subscribing and for listening to my babbles and the great feedback that we get. Please, if you would, let other people know that we do this kind of thing. Let other folk know what goes on. Subscribe to the channel. If you want to get in touch, you are more than welcome. Myself, Snox and Amber, we answer the emails every morning. We get to the phone as fast as we can. The website, if you want to have a look for some Aprilia stuff that we do, www.apworkshops.co.uk. You can email us service. Oh, sorry, it's not service. You can email us sales@apworkshops.co.uk. Thank you so much for listening to my dream come true. Thank you so much. Take care. Talk to you soon.